This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to Advanced Careers UK September Tech Talk Monday, titled Data Analytics and its Relevance to All Careers. What we're going to be covering today is basically what is data, types of data, what is data analytics, why data analysis, importance of data to business, and also importance of data to your career, and what to learn about data analysis. Okay, so data analytics, what does it mean, and who needs it? So let's quickly look at the definition of data from Wikipedia and then summarize that. The data are characteristics or information, usually numerical, that are collected through observation. In a more technical sense, data are a set of value of qualitative and quantitative variables about one or more person or object. Data basically is a collection of facts, numbers, it could be words, it could be measurements, observation, etc. that has been translated into a form that computers can understand, basically. All right, but if you look at the definition of data, it says information, usually numerical, but not all the time. Okay, so when we say information, what is information? Information is basically characteristics of something. When I look at my TV set, I know the shape is square, and it can show screen of movies, music, and several news items. It can also I can listen to audios from my television. So those are information about TV. When I look at something else that is not a television, it has different characteristics. As humans, we are a complete data. All right. So basically, it is the characteristics of information about human or an object. An example of data, from my own definition, data is everything and everything is data. What do I mean by that? Now, right now, whilst we are on this webinar, I can see the number of people that have attended this program. I know the number, and then their names as well keep popping up. I can identify either they are male or female based on their name, and also the duration of the time that you're going to be on this webinar. We can also calculate that and then present it as an information, and we can compare this information with a previous data for the last tech talk. All right. So an example of data is a variable collecting through research data. So what are variables collected through research? Most of us went to university, and during our graduation or before we graduated, we did research method. And through research method, we collected data either through questionnaire, through interview, through workshops. All right. So there are variables that are collected through research. They are characteristics of all living things. Okay. So I made mention that humans, we are a collection of data. And how do we know that we are a collection of data? It is based on the characteristics of every human. We have two eyes, a mouth, hands, and we have legs to run, and etc. We are different from, I am different from a bird that can fly. I cannot fly. Okay, I'm different from a cheetah that can run the fastest. I can run, but I cannot run as fast as a cheetah. So all living things are data. The apps on your smartphone also contains data, just as the website. If you have ever used Google Analytics or any other digital data collecting application, you will see enormous data about the people that are coming on the website, how many they are, their location, their age, their interest, and etc. All of these are data. Okay, transaction in a store or bank, they are all data. And guess what? Data can be anything that can be classified as data, even your thoughts. Okay, even when you think about something, your thought itself, they are all data. So when I say data is everything and everything is data, data is around us all the time. I don't know if Paul have anything to add to that. Paul, you can quickly cut in. I don't want to just be the one going on and on.
No. Just to say, yeah, with data, that everything that you look at, touch, feel, there's a data element to it. As David said, the TV, the laptop that you're on, the table that you're sitting at, they all have data points that, when collated in a table, are useful to the end consumer of that data. Now, that could be an end customer looking for something, looking at a table with similar dimensions. It could be to an organization who are selling a product based on its dimensions, but or any aspects of its data elements. But what the point we're trying to get across to you is that data is all around us, and we don't even acknowledge that unless it's presented to us in a particular way or format.
Thank you, Paul. So to summarize that as well, data is all around us all the time. Basically, that is the key here. Now, most of us, when we think about data or data analysis or data analytics, we only look at probably the business data, or you look at someone that is a data analyst as somebody doing something extraordinary. Trust me, we all do the same thing. We make decisions at home based on data. For instance, you are asked, what do you want to eat for dinner? And you say, oh, I ate rice last night. I ate 2 nights ago, I ate chicken and chips. So today I don't want to eat any of those things. I want to eat something else. You are collecting data from your historical data to make a decision now. And this is the same process a professional data analyst goes through. So data is always around us. So what are the different types of data? We have qualitative data. These are not numerical data, but information in a text. For example, for most of us who are part of this program, if you look at the OOS case study, a business problem, those are qualitative data. From that business problem, the BA were able to come up with the various users of the new system. You are able to come up with the current problem and also provide a solution. So these are all qualitative data. It is not quantitative. Quantitative data are analytical data, numeric data, and these are always from captured from past statistical information. Like, for instance, you have a store, how many people come through the store today? How many people bought stuff from the store? How many people didn't buy anything from the store? What are their age difference? What are their demography in terms of their salary, their sex? So these are quantitative data. Discrete data are data that cannot be qualitative, but they are information about a scenario. Let me give, for instance, the number of people in a classroom. Okay, these are discrete data because we have to calculate them or count them before we can know them. While continuous data are data that are from historical with historical trend. An example would be a baby or even humans. All right, we, as our age, we increase in our age, a lot of information about us changes. Our height changes, our thinking changes. This we call continuous data of the same set. Primary data are data that is captured from the original source, while secondary data are data that are captured from a secondary source, what we also call second-hand data. There are different types of data, but these are just some of them. And from this data, we have what we also call data types. There are two different things, types of data and data types. So data types are the value we attach to a data. For instance, integer are numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 2000, 1 million. While float are integer with what I call, it has a, what do you call this now? Decimal, okay? Decimals are float, 1.1, 1.0, 2.2, you know, those are float. Characters are your alphabetical characters, while strings are a combination of characters and sometimes integer as well. So long as it's the combination of these, like my name is David. So David would be a string character, YD would be a singular character data type. Then Boolean are basically true or false. When you're asked a question, you can either answer yes or no, or true or false. Okay, so these are the different types of data from the data type that we capture. So why is data important? Now, to grow your business, even to grow in your life, sometimes all you need is to do analysis. Trust me, you can hardly progress without analyzing where you are and where you want to be. Okay, but businesses can harness data to make decisions about finding new customers, increase customers retention, improve customer services, better managing marketing efforts, tracking social media interaction, and also predicting sales trends. Now, although this slide is specific to business, but as a project manager, a business analyst, a data analyst, a software tester, a digital marketer, you work within an organization. And if you don't understand what the services of the organization is and how your role as a PM or any other role can influence the profitability of the business, then you might struggle to be effective in that organization. But if you have a base understanding of data and how the business can grow, when you're working on the project as a PM, you quickly understand your what you're bringing to the business. Okay, Paul, you can cut me anytime, please. You know, I don't just want to be going on and on.
No, sorry, please continue. I had an interruption here, so I didn't catch the last couple of minutes of that.
All right, great. So basically, these are some of the importance of data to organizations. All right, but why is data important in a nutshell? Data can help you make better decisions. Data can help you solve problems. Data can help you understand performance. Data can also help you to improve processes, and data helps you to understand customers. When we go through the business analysis process, one of the key deliverables is to create user persona. Okay, what is their age group? What is their salary type? What are their motivation? What is their current pain points? Now, this information are all data about the customer. There's somebody I was meant to actually add to this presentation, Jeff Bezos. You know, he's currently the richest man on earth and probably the richest man ever. He used to be a data trader in what I think is the New York Financial Stock Exchange. All right, he understood data so much that he was able to build Amazon and get Amazon to the level Amazon is today. They don't play with data at all because it helps them to make decisions. All right, now data can help you make better decisions. I'm going to demo some of the things that the PM or the BA or the testers delivers, and I will show you how you've been using data but probably unaware, and how to use data better. Okay, so we've dealt with data. So what is data analysis? Now the goal here is to define data, and then we look at analysis and bring these two words together. According to Wikipedia, analysis is the process of breaking a complex topic or substance into smaller parts in order to gain a better understanding of it. The technique has been applied in the study of mathematical and logical things before Aristotle, though analysis as a formal concept is a relatively recent development. And why is it a recent development? Does anyone know? Because technology has increased the speed at which data is being collected. You want to say something, Paul?
Yes, I was just going to use an example of the company I work for. We collect data in many different shapes and forms, and it started off just wanting to collect one single response to a question that's asked in a specific way, but because of the way that the product has been implemented over the course of a couple of years, we've realized that we can collect much more data. There's a lot of data that we collect, and not all of it we can make use of at the moment. But as time progresses, we're finding new ways to utilize that data, to give that back to our customers, to our internal departments, to help them not just in our customers can improve their business, but also internally how we can improve, make improvements ourselves. So don't think about any bit of information that you may be collecting as part of your role or as part of the organization is not valuable, because it may not be immediately apparent to you, but it is valuable. From a role perspective, something like software tester, for example, the data that you collect every time you do a test cycle is valuable. Maybe not the first time, but as you do subsequent cycles, you can start to see patterns and trends, which is data that you can use to predict or project the success of the next round and things like that. Same with other roles as well. Project management, you know, if you collect data over a period of time, you can start to see trends on what was a successful project versus what may not make a successful project. And then when you come to business, when you're collecting data about your customers, it allows you to then target specific products or services to those customers, but it all depends on what you're collecting and how you're using it. So data, for the most part, is the core for many businesses, whether or not they realize that or not, because without collecting data, you can't effectively have a business.
Yeah,
I hope that makes sense to everyone.
Yeah. So in today's business, it's impossible to run a successful business without data. It is completely impossible, because you're going to be shooting your arrow at the wrong direction or wrong customers, basically. So,
and the examples that you, sorry, Dave, the examples that you're giving, they have collected data in order to become as successful as they are. You know, people like Amazon, Apple, Samsung, they have gone through trial and error throughout in every different department through research and development, and they've, you know, every failure is giving them some data that they can improve upon. So yeah, it's very important. It's like a very, very interesting subject. It gets my juices going, everyone, so I apologize for
that. I feel excited talking about data all the time, you know. I can just
If there's one thing, it's just about data. I come from a background, you know, where you give me a raw spreadsheet of data, and you'd have a lot of fun interpreting that. But that's the other thing as well, isn't it? when you're analyzing data, it's open to misinterpretation. So it's very important to be very clear in what you want to extract from that, and how you go about that as well. So there's a lot of analysis, as you're talking about now, that goes on, but you have to be really, really strict with what you want.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Back to you, David.
Yeah, so example, let us give example of analysis now. So describing things is pretty easy. We learn fairly early in life to ask the question what. Questions are quickly we start to, okay, what question, and quickly start to label the things we encounter in life. For example, what is this? It is a ball. What is this? It is a car. All right, that is what kids starts with. Then we soon discover that simply description is not enough, and we start asking the question why. And I know everyone that has a kid, especially in this country, you get tired of being asked why. All right. So why is it a ball? So it is not enough for it to just be a ball. All right. Because of its shape, it is round. Because of what it's made of, leather. Because of what you can do with it, kick it around. You cannot kick your car around. You cannot kick your television around, but you can kick your ball around. Okay. So analysis really only requires you to look a little deeper. Don't take things at face value. The chances are you do this all the time. Exactly. So basically, although you guys are analyzing things, but we take it at face value because probably the lack of understanding of data and data analysis. Now, after this program today, trust me, a lot of decisions you're going to make, you're going to be making it thinking a little bit more analytical about it. Or after you might have taken the decision, you can quickly look back and look at the processes that you went through to make that decision. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that the analysis really only requires you to look a little deeper. Don't take things at face value. The chances are that you do this all the time and always. All right. So basically, I'm going to make an example with BA, probably testing and PM, but we look at a business problem, and what do we do with the business problem? We break it from the strategic level to a tactical level. Who would the business need to help solve this problem before we can now further break it down to a system level and in more detail? But you can still see a direct correlation between a business problem and a technology solution. With the project managers, when it comes to the monitoring of the project, you require a lot of data, and you need some historical data to compare against your plan and make decisions as you go along. Okay, so you need to look deeper into information, into data rather, to make sense out of it. That is the key in data analysis. So what is data analysis then? So data analysis is the process of inspecting, cleansing, transforming, and modeling data with the goal of discovering useful information, informing conclusion, and also supporting decision making. At this stage, I didn't plan to do a demo immediately, but I'll demo something, especially for those guys, the software testers here. And this is also going to be beneficial to the BA and the PM. All right. So for the OOS application case study, we ran the testers wrote some test cases. I can see some poor data already, but let me see. Okay, I have a better data in the second round. So they have the first round of testing, second round of testing, and third round of testing. Now with this various information. We have a bar that is set for the business to determine whether or not this software meets the quality criteria. And that is captured in what we call the exit criteria. The exit criteria are the criteria, the quality criteria that must be met before you can deploy the software to the end users. And I'm going to read some of them. Some of the exit criteria reached: 90% test script executed, 85% pass rate, no open critical and high severity defect, 85% of medium severity defects have been closed, and all remaining defects are either cancelled or documented as change requests for future release. Okay, now let's look at the first round of testing. Now, with the first round of testing, I hope you guys can see my screen very well. So we have our test scripts. So these are the test scripts that I'm scrolling over. Let's ignore the statistic at the top. All right. Now, when you look at all of these, red and green, the green is passed, the red is failed. And this is what we call the Boolean data. Yes, it passed, no, it failed. All right. Unfortunately, with our statistic here, it only shows us about total number of test cases, 6. It failed to calculate other variables as well. And this is very important when it comes to data cleaning. All right. If I go back quickly to our definition of data, it states that data analysis is a process of inspecting and cleaning. So fortunately or unfortunately, we found an issue with this data set. We cannot rely on this data set. But let's look at the second round of testing. With the second round of testing, we can scroll over and over and over. We can see some red and some greens. All right. And if I come down to the analysis of the data, it shows that we have total number of test cases, 27, passed test cases, 22, failed, 5. We've not visualized this data yet, but if we come back from this data, I can go back to the exit criteria. It states that 85% pass rate of test script. I cannot see 85% here until I visualize the data. That is where we visualize the data here. And if I zoom in as well to this, we can see that second round of testing, 22 passed, 5 failed. Percentage pass is 81% and percentage failed is 19%. If we compare this statistic with the exit criteria, would we say, can we conclude that we can deploy this software to end user? The pass rate we expect is 85, and the pass rate in the second round of testing is 81. Can we release this application?
No.
Can someone please? Exactly. So that is the key about data analysis. Looking through just the red and the green, we cannot make any sense from there. But by the time we analyze our data, we can make a little bit sense of it. But finally, when we visualize it, then it becomes clear and it informs decision making. So for the software tester, you might not have been thinking about data in this light before today, but I guess your thinking about data will be totally changed. Okay, we'll go back. I'm going to demo something for the BAs. I'm going to demo something as well for the project managers, for you to start seeing data in a different light. The goal here is to demystify data before we even look into the career in data analysis or how data analysis, the knowledge of data analysis can influence your job and make you perform better. But you want to add something there? Okay, I think it's on mute. So type of
Yes,
data
sorry.
analysis, yeah. Type of data analysis,
Sorry,
techniques
please
and
continue.
methods. All right. So there are several types of data analysis techniques. Here are just a few. Textual analysis, data mining. Who knows what data mining is? Can someone help me with data mining? Because every one of you on Advanced Careers Program has done data mining, but you might not be aware. Can anyone within in this tech talk give me an answer to what data mining is? No one? Okay. So basically, data mining is searching through a whole of textual information to pull out data from it. Okay. Now, let's say we have a business problem like our OS application. The process of conducting the gap analysis, we read through paragraph by paragraph, and then we started pulling out information from it. All right. So that is what we call data mining. You look at a textual document, and then you read through and pull out information. And for anyone that has an intention to work in a bank, okay, like the guys that are working in credit risk, performing the Basel implementation project, they give them the Basel requirements as a credit risk business analyst. You read through the Basel requirement and start pulling up mining data that can be used to build requirements and build software for the banks. Okay, so you all, everyone here, part of advanced careers students, have done data mining. This is how simple it is. When you hear it out there, you think it's something that is impossible to even do. Basically, it's you reading through your newspaper and understanding what is in the newspaper and pulling out information from it, going through blogs. All right. Then we have the statistical analysis. What happened? Looking at trends. For instance, using past data in the form of dashboard. Quickly, I'm going to do a quick demo here as well with our template for project weekly status report. This is basically for the project manager. You cannot run away from data. It is totally impossible. As I've said, it is all around you. Data is everything, and everything is data. Now, you have your project. Okay, we have here we have a project health card, but we have your project schedule. When you create your work breakdown structure using Microsoft Project, or even creating requirements or tasks in Jira, you have your epics, which are analysis, build, assurance, which is testing, user acceptance testing, production, and support. You then start monitoring this project in terms of percentage completed, and you can compare that against the plan. All of these are data. And the financial report, how much have we estimated as the budget, and how much are we spending weekly, week by week? These are data. All right. When you hold, we have the top 5: risk, issues, dependencies, decisions, change requests. These are all data. The total number of issues, we can now specify our risk in terms of medium, low, or high. In this case, we have 5 high, 2 medium, and 2 lows. But the question is, how do I gather this data? You hold a meeting. Each of your meetings, it might be the project kickoff meeting, it might be weekly stand-up meeting or catch-up meeting, risk meeting, project, or let me say the sprint meetings. Okay, within all of these meetings, you make decisions and also come up with action plans. Now, All of those decisions, if you number them accordingly, give them an ID, you can see that we have 10 decisions that have been taken in the last 2 weeks. Out of the 10 decisions, 5 have been completed, 2 is in progress, 3 has not yet been started. Now, this data, this information can help you make better decisions in managing your project. Now, I'm not going into the career as a data analyst yet. Probably we're going to do this same program, the version 2, to go into in-depth into career into data analysis. The key for today's program is how is it relevant to all careers, and be it HR, be you a customer service representative, be it a cashier, someone that sells burger in McDonald's, all of these roles, you need the understanding of data to perform best. And learning data analysis or data analytics will give you an edge. Not even going into if you look through job boards, there's that high demand for data. So I've just done a little demo for PMs. I bet you get a clearer picture of what your role involves. Beyond managing the project, you are also a data manager. Paul, you can jump in. Then we have, in terms of statistical analysis, we have the inferential analysis, make the conclusion from data sample, and descriptive analysis, show mean and deviation. You can see with our status report, those two information are captured in the statistical analysis. Diagnostic analysis, why did it happen? You look through trends and then understand why we are not performing well. Let's look at why are we losing customers? For instance, a business will ask that question. Then we can start going back through trend and look at the happenings within the economy. Is it true? Is it because of Corona? Several people have lost their job. We know it is via coronavirus. All right. Is it through the poor performance of myself? Okay. Or is it why did the project fail? We look through data. Is it because the sponsor has requested for so many things and the scope creep was too high for the project to succeed? So these are diagnostic data analysis. Predictive analysis is to show what is likely to happen based on historical data as well, and also prescriptive analysis to determine which course of action to take. And we do this, be it any role that we do, and also the key thing that we do this on a day-to-day basis in our homes. Privately, we do the same process. So data analysis is not as far-fetched as we all see it to be, and we run away from it. So what is the process of data analysis? The first is data requirement gathering. Then we collect the data, we clean the data, analyze the data, interpret the data, and then visualize the data. And I've shown us that already through the test case and also through the status report for the project manager. I think I'm going to show one more data for the BA. Now the BAs, quickly, I have updated your SRS document to include priority. All right. So basically, there might be something I still need to add to this requirement SRS document, but I guess none of us have seen this. Now you're building a website. You are capturing requirements for the user, and we all know about Moscow, and must have, should have, could have, won't have. But how can Moscow help us to also deliver our project, our product successfully? Is first and foremost determining which set of requirements are the must have, which set of requirements are the should have, which set of requirements are the could have, and which set of requirements are the won't have. And basically, just as we did with the testers, you might be capturing this red, green, light green, yellow, and co. All right. But this will make no sense to you until you present it in a data table. One thing that is missing here is the total number. Now, when you have this information, you can easily or quickly understand how many features you must have before you can deliver the project. And this is very powerful because it helps in your further decision making in terms of which feature you prioritize first and which feature you prioritize last. And when you have this information, it can also help you to determine how much time it will take for the developer to develop the software. Beyond just having the old, let me just show the existing SRS document. This is the SRS document, the existing one from the user requirement. Basically, we don't have the Moscow included, and we cannot calculate that. And what is the problem with this particular document? You have a list of requirements, but you don't even know how many requirements you've captured in terms of numbers. You don't know which of the features that will be must have. You don't know which of the features that it won't have. So that when scope creeping, when the sponsor start asking for other features, you can compare the new feature to the existing feature and determine whether or not we can include this or not. This is what data just changes completely, makes a total different way of how you view your job. It gives you a like what do you call it, glass that you can, a glass that you can zoom in and see what your role entails and helps you to actually deliver projects more effectively. Now, as I said, we've not even gone into the proper data analysis, and it is not our plan today to go in depth, but today is to just demystify data analysis for all of us so that going forward, you can make informed decisions with your role and also to help you to deliver projects more successfully. Without data, you cannot deliver projects more successfully. So what are different data analysis tools? We have Excel, very powerful. In short, to me, one of the most powerful tools you can ever know how to use. Even in my small knowledge of using Excel, I knew what it helped me to actually accomplish and see things clearer. There is the R language, Power BI, Tableau, SQL, SAS, etc. Okay, but for everyone who is in IT, it's a must to know how to use Excel to at least an intermediate level. Okay, now what would this do for you? When you look at the current job board, there is a high demand for data analysts, but not just for data analysts. You as a project manager, they also require that level of knowledge. When you work on a project, it is impossible that any IT project will eliminate data from it completely. Okay, so this knowledge is key to boosting your employable or your employability, basically. So a demo, but I think I've already demoed the things I want to demo. I plan to demo it at this stage, but while the training was going on, I think it was key that I show you guys all of those templates and how data impacts your job. So why you should study data analytics? Data analytics is significant for top organization. I would say for every organization, but the biggest organization, they mine most of the data. They rely on data to make all of their adverts, to engage with their customers, to profile services that will be helpful to specific. They customize their product to customer based on data analysis. That is why when you go search for, let me say, a product on a different website, by the time you start browsing the internet, you are being shown something similar for the next 1 week, 2 weeks, even 1 month. So long as you keep engaging with such products. Now they've customized the advert to suit you. If you want to become a digital marketer, it is impossible for you to be a digital marketer without the knowledge of data. You could be a PMBA tester without deep knowledge of data, but for you to excel in today's world, it is key. Job opportunities on the rise for data. Basically, we are no more in the just information age, but we are in the data age. Why? Because there is so much data out there to be collected, and companies are struggling to find people that understand the process of capturing and visualizing data. When you have this skill plus your own current skill, trust me, the sky will be your limit or your starting point. Increased salary for data analytics professional.
I was just going to, sorry to interrupt, David. I was just going to say for the project managers more so, is that David's right. The data that you can get as working on part of your project is invaluable to you to be able to report back to up management or to to the stakeholders and everything, because they're not interested in the detail as such. They just want to know at a high level, is everything going well? If not, how are you resolving that? And a quick way to do that is to just collect that data in a format, as David has shown already in these wonderful examples, and then that is sufficient for you to then just take a snapshot of that and then pass that on. But that data is something that your stakeholders will consume. So it's not just about collecting the end customer's data. The emphasis on this opening topic of probably many on data is to say that even in and around what you're doing in your day-to-day is important.
Thank you for.
Sorry, David.
Yeah. So work opportunities in a spectrum of industry. You can work in banking, you can work in media, you can work in government, you can work anywhere with the skills of data analysis. You will influence the decision making in the company. I've shown us an example of influencing decision making with the software tester template. And we have the test report at this stage, and we can see that in our first round of testing, we had poor data. We need to clean that data and update it. In our second round of testing, we had 81%, but in our third round of testing, we have 93% pass rate. This data has helped us to make decisions, but having just the visualization of the data or the complete process of turning those data into information, because most data are unstructured until we analyze it and then create either a dashboard or a data presentation like this that we can now see clearly and make informed decision. Okay, and this can help you make decisions with your career as well. Most of our students, they go through job boards. I know people are applying for jobs. You are seeing jobs that you don't feel comfortable with. Okay. So, what do you do when you see all of those information? You start picking those job specs and look for ways. You cannot just dodge it. You can't say this is not for me. So I'll keep sipping through to find a job that 100% suits my criteria or my experience. Those are information that you can pick up and then improve. I'll give you guys a personal example. When I started as a software tester, automation testing has not even really fully grown, all right? But gradually I was seeing on job boards, Selenium, IDE, record and playback, that was when Selenium started growing up. immediately I saw that opportunity, I was given a chance to go through the managerial area or the technical route in the company I was working with. From the job description I've seen, I knew that software testing is going to become technical. So I chose the technical part and learned C# and created the first automation framework for the company. And I built myself there, and that helped me to progress. And it was not difficult for me to find jobs. It was because of those information I saw, those data I saw from job spec. Okay, so when you see BA job and it's talking about Power BI, Tableau, transforming data, and SQL, you can't run away from it. It has given you enough data to go back and improve. This industry is not an industry that sits and waits for anyone. It grows as new requirements in technology grows. All right. So data is one thing that everyone needs to have a good understanding if you really want to get your career where you want it to be. And it presents perfect freelance opportunity. You will influence decision making, and as I said, it will increase your marketability. It is there as well. It will help you see your job in a total different light. You don't have to become a data analyst to go forward with this, but you must have good understanding so that you broaden your opportunities. I don't know if Ola is here. He works with one of the top banks, or I don't know if Sam is here. Sam might be able to also add something to this. He also works in the bank, and they are credit risk business analysts, both of them, and they deal with Excel a lot. In short, when they got in, they have to learn so much of data and how to actually understand and manipulate data. So basically, this is something that you have to start looking into. So do you want to become a data analyst? Now, these are some of the requirements to become a data analyst. To become a data scientist, you need a solid foundation in computer science, modeling, statistics, analytical, and maths. What sets them apart from traditional job title is the understanding of business processes and an ability to communicate quality findings to both business management and IT leaders in a way that can influence how an organization approach a business challenge and answer problems along the way. Now, you can see that all of your role involves speaking with the business and also speaking with technical team. You don't necessarily have to go back to university and learn computer science. Modeling statistics, probably you have to learn that a little bit if you want to become a data scientist or a data analyst. But this program is to give you an insight and demystify data first and foremost. So it is left for you to make decisions on how to improve yourself going forward. All right. So you mustn't necessarily go back to become a data analyst, but some of you would have the passion to become a data analyst, and this is a headway for you. And I think that is the end of today's Tech Talk. Paul might have something to add, then we will be open to questions.
Does anyone have any questions? I know there's a lot of information to take in there, but it is an exciting topic, and we felt it was important that everyone on our courses will, yet to come to our courses, understand the importance of not just understanding the benefits of data that businesses collect, but also the actual types of data and how they can be used with external customers as well as internal.
There's a comment on the box.
How do we learn data analysis skills? Well, there are courses. But yeah, so a couple of ways. You can go on different courses to do that, or you can learn it on the job. Or you can sort of like do a combination of two. But you can learn the data analysis theoretically, but actually doing it practically is a lot better. This isn't a course. Well, it's a course that we're
running now already.
We've just started running it. It's got a lot of popularity, and it gives you the basics. What application used? I don't. Are you asking what specific application you can use? So you can use Excel, MySQL databases. That I use. So I use MySQL primarily, and what do we use to teach, David? What do we use to teach?
We use Excel and we use Tableau. Okay. And also we also include an intro to SQL, not an in-depth SQL. Okay. So those are the three key things. But I think half of the program would be Excel, how to do pivoting, HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, write macros. Okay. How to gather data and clean the data, and then create a visualization in Excel, and also visualization using Tableau as well. I think the trainer was in, but I think for some reason I can't see him again. Okay, for any student, we had an introductory price of 400, but it is for any of our students, it is 499. But for anyone coming from outside, it is, I think it's 199. But we have about almost about 60% discount for any past student.
Organizers. Okay. Oh, I'm interested.
Mr. Dave.
Hi.
Yeah, I don't get that that figure. So a fresh, as in, somebody that is not your candidate, how much is it?
It's £1,199.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Who asked the question?
This is David.
Okay. All right, David. David, we've been talking for more than a year now.
Don't worry, I'll come and see you, sir.
Okay. Okay. If there's no question, I want to ask some questions. The BAs. Let me start with the BAs. How has today's TED Talk influenced your deliverables? Would you have preferred to know this before you started? Has it given you a bit clarity going forward?
I think it would have been nice to have these firsthand. Well, whatever the case, I think still very helpful going forward. Thanks.
Okay. Juliet, for those on live projects, how would you think differently going forward with your requirements and code?
For me, I realized that with everything that we do, with the deliverables, with the requirement gathering, everything can be seen from a data perspective. It can be documented as such, it can be seen as such, and it will definitely be read as such. So we can even quantify or qualify our gatherings based on maybe data types, and just realize that, okay, if you are it's just in my head, I'm trying to actually be able to put it down rightly in line with what I have done thus far with my BA training up until this point.
Okay, thanks.
Um
All right. Okay, you still saying something, comment?
oh no.
All right. For PMs, Claire, Ali, Blessing, you guys are on live projects. How did this sector influence your delivery going forward? You're on mute. I know Claire is speaking, but she's on mute.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Kadi.
Basically, if you remember, David, I actually wanted to put in for data analyst. You remember that right from the word go before we concluded on PM.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that my background and discipline, actually, I understand the importance of data analysts. Every facet of discipline that we embark on in job, prospecting. Do understand that? If you could remember, and in line with what we are doing, we have been using data a lot, which is we know, especially on our project professional work breakdown structure here. So we may do with several data, and accurately, and one should be able to learn data because it's very important, especially when we are doing costing and stuff like that. We have got experience in that field in the past anyway. So it's very good. I mean, I really enjoy this data analysis. It really gives the picture, on how to relate data analysis to whatever information that we have, so that we can deploy that in in our job context. So it's very, very interesting. Honest.
All right, thank you. And I know why I gave that advice then. It's because going to data analysis in depth, you need a longer time. So with PM, you can start and then get into the industry. And if you have love for data analysis, we can go it deeper. So yes.
Thank you very much. That's very good. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
All right, Claire.
The talk has been very informative, and there's a lot to learn applied to the life project. And I really liked how you've broken down what data analysis, and even relating it to everyday examples. So there's a lot to learn and apply to the project. I would have loved to know about this as I was registering for the course, but it's fine. Knowledge is ongoing, so thank you for the talk.
You're welcome. So basically for PM, my advice to you today is your meetings, all of your meetings that you hold going forward, you have your actions, you have your decision made from the meetings. For retrospective, you have action points. All of these, you need to capture them, document them accurately, and then use the weekly or end of sprint report to generate information that will help you see the trend of the project, and if for any reason the project might be delaying, you can quickly see that and then take corrective actions. All right, so all of your meeting, please, your meeting note, action and decision made, and who is responsible when the action should be completed or the decision should be actioned. Okay, and then status: is it in progress, is it completed, is it not started? All of these would help you actually see your project, your risk log. Same thing, all of those information should be there, and then we can pull it out and create a beautiful information on the dashboard. Okay. I don't know if any tester is still here, but probably does anyone else have something to say, plus or minus, before we start thinking of rounding up? All right, Paul, okay, who wants to say something? Paul, any final words?
No, just I hope everyone did enjoy this. This is, like I said before, so it's a really interesting subject. Once we start getting into it, lots of opportunity with just understanding the data that you're collecting every day, but also if you want to really turn this into a career, it's something that you can, if I can put it in another way, when you're looking after, let's say, infrastructure, if you're looking after data itself and you want to interpret that or understand it or look at trends, it's one of those things that you need to set some time aside to, because you can quickly go down a rabbit hole and start, you know, if you're not focused when you're looking at stuff, you can quickly just go off and start getting lost. So having something like this felt that it would help give some sort of grounding and you know, introduction to it. So yeah, if you have found this of use, we'll look to do a follow-up on this for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is data analysis 1.0. So we're going to do the 2.0, which is basically an in-depth into data analysis itself. Today's goal was basically, as we said, to data analysis and it's relevant to all careers, and basically to break it down into a primary level to everyone's understanding. Then you can take it further in the, either it might be October Tech Talk, or down the line, we're going to decide that and let you know. And if you have any further question around data, around the course we are offering, please feel free to call me up, send me text message, WhatsApp message, call Paul up. And then if you need help with your project as well, we can help you in terms of how to start modeling your task in a better shape. And then you see yourself both as a project manager and a data analyst, a mini data analyst, or a BA as a data analyst, and etc. My plan was to also share some of the job roles and the requirement, but we are unable to do that today. But hopefully in the next one, we're going to do that. We're going to really see. Please, when you start searching for a job, or when you're searching for a job, please keep an eye on the requirements. That will show you where you need to build up yourself. It doesn't end from the hands-on training or the internship program we offer. It is a continuous process. All right. Thank you guys for joining both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, is there any other
Thank
question?
you.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Thank you, Paul.
David, thank you, Paul.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
guys.
Yeah.